What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Ash on Comics comic review. This is Undiscovered Country number 3. This is designed to be a quick review at least. Here you can see the full cover. I thought this was the coolest cover so far. I really kind of like some of these abstract designs that kind of almost reminds me of like novel covers when they're not really meant to be, comic books are more like look like a pinup page, where novels you tend to be a little bit more like graphic design. I like this a lot. I'm not sure what this has to say about the book itself, though. Look at this. They didn't do a 2-page splash this time. Bravo, gentlemen. So we open up 1 month ago, the Neo-Canadian Wilderness. This book seems to be doing that. The second issue and now the third issue seem to be playing with flashbacks the way the TV show Lost did. If you haven't seen Lost, I really urge you actually to check out the first season. It's probably one of the best single seasons of TV that I've ever watched. And if you don't know anything about the show, hey, look, my crop's ready to be harvested. If you don't know anything about the show and you haven't been spoiled, then definitely watch Lost. It is a great narrative, and if you like this comic, then definitely do that. And if you like that show, then you should definitely check out this comic. And like I've said in the past, also, if you like Oblivion Song, then you need to check out this comic. And if you like this comic, you need to check out Oblivion Song. They're all kind of spiritual, siblings, if you will, in the type of content. So it's this like a genre, this whole mysterious sci-fi weirdness, where the mystery is really just reality and existence and what's actually going on. We open up this character who's kind of a quack, and he's off in this little van. His name is Ace Kenyatta. He's one of the special team that was sent in to the United States, which has been walled off from the rest of the world. And he talks about, he's like, don't know if I ever properly introduced myself. My name is Ace. And at the moment, I know more about the United States of America than anyone else alive. But that's not going to last, because pretty soon, it'll be you, little guy. You're about to see it all. He's got this little bird with the special vest on. And you can see a pocket on the chest here, and he pulls out this coin. So this coin, Eisenhower dollar, hang on to it. Back in the day, it wasn't worth too much. Wouldn't even buy you lunch. But this one's special. Bring it back safe, and it'll buy us the most valuable thing there is, the truth. And so when I was reading this in the beginning, I was like, what the hell is going on? Why has he got a bird with a coin? The story makes sense of it all. He's like, what is it, Prince? What's the... And you hear it, scree! You in the van, we have you surrounded. Step out now, hands empty, or we'll bring you out. You have 3 seconds. No, not now. We need to get you out in the air, get you. And then they don't waste any time. In comes the tear gas and special ops team, and then this mysterious guy that apprehends him before he can let go of the bird. Ace appears to know him, calls him Warren, and he pleads. He's like, I'll give you everything I have, just the bird. Let me set the bird free. No one's being set free here today, son. Warren, what the hell? Why are you doing this? You know why. You're the great Ace Kenyatta. To hear you tell it, you know more about the United States than anyone else alive. Let's hope you're right. And so I was just like, what the heck? And then we fast forward to today. America West, the American West, the Destiny Zone now. So he's got his little watch, and he's like, almost time. You can see he's got this coin. And what I like about this book a lot is the details. You read an issue and you kind of go back and you read it again or even skim it again. You're going to see things that you might not have noticed the first time, especially if you kind of read through it fast, which is something that we all or most of us at least, can tend to do when we read comics. So Ace is with Daniel and his sister, and they're trying to sneak into a place. Now, the artist who's listed here is Giuseppe Camuncoli, is getting a lot better. Each issue seems to improve over the last, and that's really encouraging considering he's slotted to be the ongoing artist indefinitely until, the whole series, which is something cool about indie comics that unfortunately Marvel and DC, you guys listening, this is something you guys used to do and you don't do it anymore. Art is important. Comics are a visual medium. Writing is important in comics. You can't tell a story without writing, but you can tell a story without art. And comics, you can't do that. Comics must have art. That's the focus. We all buy comics because we want stories with art. Otherwise, we just buy novels. This guy's getting better. He has a lot of freedom to help build this world. And what I like about this artist is not necessarily that he draws people, looking great, which is usually at least what I used to love as a comic book reader. I'd buy Jim Lee comics and Todd McFarlane books and stuff just because he drew the human figures so beautifully in such dynamic poses and action scenes. And that's the reason why comic characters are always in spandex and stuff, is really so you can draw the human anatomy. Modern comics, especially the ones that aren't superheroes, have gone away from that. We don't care. I mean, look at these characters. They're just shrouded in cloaks anyway. So in this case, the art is really important to capture the world so we can get a visual of what this place is. It's really important. The world of America is probably singularly the most important character in this series, Undiscovered Country. They're exploring it, and the whole purpose of this book really is world building. It's what's going on with America, what's it all about, why is it so different. All of this is being explored, and you, the reader, are taken on this journey through these characters. And they matter too, but they're sort of just a vessel for us to explore what's happening. The mystery goes on, and we see some flashbacks again where Kenyatta was kept in a cell, padded cell, to keep from hurting himself, and he kind of explains what he was doing in his experiments. This other guy thinks he's crazy. He's got this helmet with moon rocks attached to it, as you can see here. The kid, Kenyatta, seems to be like some genius, but he's kind of made out to be a quack. And you as the reader aren't really sure. Is this kid crazy? Is he not? What's going on? You're kind of led to believe that even though he's made to be a total quack and he's got moon rocks tied to a helmet, in the real world, we probably would side with this older guy. But in the comic, we side with Kenyatta because we kind of know already, like if we see this map, we kind of know this is what's going on in America. We've already seen the land sharks, the weird shit. So we don't think he's a quack. And now we're interested in this character. What's he doing? Why does he know so much? He seems to be this brilliant, outside the box thinker that's able to see things that's right in front of everyone's faces, but it's so bizarre and weird that no one else can admit to it. It just seems like pure, utter nonsense and crazy. So they have a big argument. I don't want to spoil all the details of this book, but suffice it to say, it's very interesting in what's happening in the world. Meanwhile, these characters are still trying to sneak in to where they're going. We get some dialogue and some characterization between is it Daniel, I think, and his sister. Remember, they're the two kids that were born in America, and then their parents had them taken away because the shit was all going down. And Daniel's actually broken back into the country a couple times. They find Destiny Man's like special storehouse where he keeps all the vehicles that people have used to try to sneak in. One of them is actually Daniel's ship. And his sister kind of guesses it because she sees like there's a picture of them as kids, and she's like, oh my God. Now she's really mad at him. She's tried to forget her past. She blames her parents for leaving them, and she went off to become this doctor, and she like helps the world and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Daniel's given his life to some, rogue elements. He's become a killer. They're kind of like opposites in that way. But he's telling her that her parents are still alive. She doesn't believe him. She's pissed off. And the end of the book, spoiler if you don't want to know how the actual end of the book reveals. It doesn't reveal too much, but we see Destiny Man and one of his goons staring through the window. And he's like, and Daniel's telling his sister, I've been here before. So he's about to reveal something. We don't know what. That's sort of the ends of their story. Meanwhile, Kenyatta has found his coin. It got lost. He was been searching for it. And this dealer has it. And he ends up having to haggle with the dealer to get it back. And he's trying to do his experiment because he believes something is going on, which I'm not going to really reveal. I'm sure you can pause the pages here and see for yourself. But it's a really, if you're wanting to spoil stuff for you, that is, it's a really cool reveal, and it makes this book the most interesting by far of the series, and that's great because each book has been getting better and better, both in the art and in the story and the world building. I'm really enjoying this. The first issue was like, okay. The second issue was like, oh, you're getting me a little bit more interested. This issue hooks you. This issue, you're like, oh, damn. You don't really know exactly what's going on, but you know something major, one piece of the, like one symptom of what's going on. You're like, so what does that all mean? Why is that happening? And I'm really excited. Scott and Charles have a cool little Q&A session here where looks like they take some Twitter stuff and answer some questions, and they do 3 full pages. That's pretty cool. We get to see some background stuff of how the map of the U.S. took shape over time. I like that they do that sort of stuff. And that is Undiscovered Country by Charles Soule, Scott SNYDER, 2 of the bigger names currently writing modern comics. This is a really good indie sci-fi book that you can jump on early. Scott says that this is an ongoing series in that Q&A in the back. They said they don't know exactly how long it's going to be because they don't know how successful it's going to be. But he says that it's designed to be 30 issues at the minimum, but they're really hoping it takes off and they can do 50 issues or even more. They have a long story that they want to tell. They say that they already know the end. It's all planned out. It's really sort of the middle that they're still coming up with ideas to like fill the journey. I think that's really cool that they have a design and that we know this is going to end with some big ending. Because for me, stories of this nature that are finite, the ending is everything. If you can't end, you can have a great story, and if it just flop on the ending, it's like, what the hell was I even reading for? Now, with mainstream comics, I don't care. I don't want Batman to ever end. I don't want Spider-Man to ever end. I want their stories to go on indefinitely. That type of comic is not designed to have an ending. And that's, I think, a flaw in modern comics because a lot of these new modern writers come in and they have, like, Tom King came in and says, I got this 100-page story to tell. No, just write Batman. You can have ideas for story arcs in his life, but you don't write Batman's story unless you're going to do something like what Christopher Nolan did and say, I'm going to come up with this Elseworlds idea and it has a beginning, middle, and an end, and that's going to be just a variation on the Batman story, but it's not. But when you're writing the actual comics, pick up Superman or whatever, just tell Superman's stories. That's the point. Anyways, I'm digressing. This is a really solid book. I give this a 4 stars on the writing, which is going to be predominantly guiding my overall rating of the book. 3 stars for the art, but it's getting better, and it's perfectly. This is guys better than most of Marvel artists, and 3-star art is really a lot to hope for these days, especially in the world of indie. So, bravo to this book. This is one of the top indie books out there that should have your attention. If what I described to you at all sounds like up your alley, check this out. Like I said, you can jump on board real easy. This is only the 3rd issue. It just came out. So you're not behind, and you can have something to look forward to collect for, several years to come. And that's really one of the joys about comics, right? Is just every month we're getting that story is leaked out to us, and we can all sit on around the virtual water cooler that's Twitter or whatever social media, and or even come to YouTube and shoot the shit about the book. If you're reading this book, tell me what you think down below. If you're not reading this book, tell me why. If there's other books like this that you think, if you like this, check this out. Whatever you want to say, I love to hear your ideas. I do read every comment, even if I don't comment back on them. Thanks for watching. Hope this wasn't too long. I'll see you next time.